Hi there. Hey, just before we get the episode started for the Nickson and Nate podcast, I just want to issue a little warning. There is colourful language used throughout these episodes, so if you do have little ears around you, we suggest that you listen with caution. Keeping that in mind, we also don't want to assume knowledge too, so if you are unaware of the story on why Nate left the My Morning crew and his departure to the show and to Mai FM in general, Nate was convicted of money laundering and served a bit of time in jail. So this is the behind the scenes, the story that led from that moment to where he is now and everything in between. And plus a journey and a friendship, a brotherhood that has really stood the test of time and lasted around 20 years now. So we hope you enjoy it. Hey, welcome to the Nickson and Nate podcast. This is the first official episode behind the paywall. Hey, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for paying your subscription fee. It's so good to have you here.
This is what the first time in 5 years. This is legitimately where we're working together.
Yeah, hard out.
Buzzy, what's happened in the last 5 years?
I know. Well, this episode is titled Brick by Brick.
Brick by brick.
So, I mean, with all the bricks that we built, they somehow came crumbling down like Solomon's temple, and then we're building it all the way back up.
We basically had to start again.
Yeah, but what has been happening? Do you want to go first? No, you've got the big story. I'll tell you what's been happening in my story because I can get it done real quick.
Yeah, go on.
And then we can take the time and you can dive deep into what's been happening over the last, how long? 3-4 years?
3-4 years.
What have I been doing? Well, I was at Mai.
Mm-hmm.
I was holding the fort together.
Yeah. Why were you holding the fort together?
Because you left. I tried to hold it together at Mai. But it never hit the same. But I tried my best. And that's no disrespect to anybody or any team, but it's just, I just had that feeling that like my time was done. So I wrapped up. I think you were inside at that point the first time. And then I went to the Edge for a little bit. And then the Edge treated me well. But that, again, didn't feel like home for me. Like it didn't feel like home. I tried my hardest. But got an offer to come back to Mai FM, and that's where I am now. And in between all of that, personally for me, Sarah and I trying to have a baby at the moment. So you're on the fertility journey at the moment. So
Tried any new styles?
I've tried them all and none of them worked. We ended up going to a bloody clinic.
My man.
Yeah. So I got 15 babies in the freezer at the moment, ready to go. Not like physical babies, but the embryos are ready to go. So you'll be Uncle Nate soon, hopefully.
Let's go. Hopefully I'm a better uncle than a dad.
You're a great dad. Don't sell yourself short like that.
I think that's what I needed.
So when I got thrown a lifeline, well, not a lifeline, I got asked to come back to Mai. I was like, I'll take it. And Mai's home now. But then ever since coming back, the question, I think the main question I get asked is, oh yeah, so when's Nate coming back? When's Nate coming back? And then I was like, he'll come back in the right time. But in the meantime, we're here doing a podcast now.
I'm grateful that we can do this because I never thought we'd actually work together again because of the way things ended.
Well, I was nervous about starting again with you because I was like, I say this humbly, but people remember the good times. And I was like, it would be like if they remade Friends, and then it doesn't work.
Because I fucked you up.
I was angry, man. I was angry.
A lot of people think that I got fired. I didn't get fired.
No, you didn't.
I just got bored.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck this. I'll go to a strip bar.
Well, it's hard to get fired when you go to jail. Like, I mean, we had no options.
Well, the first time.
The first time, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm talking like a veteran here. No, but remember the first time? It was after Christmas. And you begged me. You said, look, man, get your shit together. January 9th, the show starts again. And I'm like, yeah, fuck, all good. I'll be there. Don't worry, bro.
That's right. It was the first show back for the year.
It was and you begged me all weekend. You'll be there. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
First show, I didn't show up. I woke up at like 10 past 10 in the morning. I looked at my phone. I must have had like 80 missed calls. And I thought, I mucked up. I rang you straight. I was like, I'm sorry, man. I'll come see you. I came to the radio station. We sat up. I drove in. You were waiting out the front. You didn't want to sit inside. You wanted to wait outside for me. I hopped out of the car and I tried to joke around with you. You just weren't having it. You'd had enough. And you just said, bro, sort your shit out.
Yeah.
And I said, don't worry. That's it. That's the last of it. I'll come see you tomorrow. Bright and early. What happened?
8 o'clock. The show starts at 6. I was like, come on, man.
Oh,
Because of that moment. Oh, there wasn't. You know what? I can't pinpoint it when the show started to fall apart. You know. And
ask me why I came late that second day.
why did you come late that second day?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Well, at least
Hey.
you're gonna get honesty on this podcast.
But
You're gonna get honesty.
I'm 4 years sober, so.
So, like I said, I can't pinpoint it to one moment. I can't. But when the show started to change a little bit, like because of the brotherhood that we have and the history, I was like, Nate, always meet me outside because I don't want you to come inside and then get in trouble, you know, by other people. I was like, as your boy, I wanted to just go, hey, come on, man. Like, I'm trying to keep you out of trouble, like, you know, so I'm giving you the heads up now because the bosses that, you know, that run Mai FM and the Mai Morning Crew, bro, they're getting hectic. And I was trying to protect you from that. But man, that fatigued me more than the bloody show. I swear to God.
Yeah,
There were so many times when people were like, cut him off. Cut him off.
yeah, but who can cut me? No, I'm kidding. No, but I
couldn't.
I had to, I had to get help in the last year or so. Like, I had to figure out what was going on with me because I'll be honest.
What, in this last year?
In this last year,
Yeah.
to figure out why I was doing the things I was doing back in 2019. I got bored of the show.
Yeah.
It was just too easy. Like, I'm not being a dick.
No, but it was. We had the blueprint set. It was good. Like, it was paint by numbers.
Like, I crave competition. Like, no matter what I do, it's like, oh, who's the top dog here? Okay, let me have a run.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know, you wanna run the ball, whatever situation you're in. And like, not to be cocky, but at the time I was like, who else?
Yeah.
Who else? Let me just dabble in another field.
And it's crazy too because we got to that point, right, to validate your point, we got to that arena with nothing. Like, we learned how to do a radio show on, like, you know, the smell of an oily rag. Like, we were never gifted all the flashiest things. We were never gifted anything like major. I think the biggest prize we ever had was a trip to Japan, and that was spaced over, 10 years?
I didn't even go.
Years? You didn't even go? No. Because we had a Suki Baba producer at the time.
Nah, he's all right.
But
man.
we love him
Yeah,
we
yeah,
love
yeah.
him to bits.
It's not producer right.
No. But
So I've been, you know, talking to some people to go over some things, and like, I've been in survival mode ever since coming to New Zealand.
When you say talking to people, is it therapy?
Therapists.
Oh, yeah.
I had to go through like 8.
Well,
Yeah.
why 8?
Because there's certain things that when you talk about it, they'll say, oh, it's a bit heavy. I'm going to refer you to this person.
Oh, damn. You got referred 8 times?
Yeah, I got moved around a bit.
Wow.
But I've you know, it's helpful. I would say double check who you talk to sometimes, because there are some people who are just there to clip the ticket. They're like, oh, okay, well, do this and you'll be sweet. But yeah, there was a lot going on with me during that time, and the easiest thing of my day was doing the show. Like, I could just wake up and come here, just turn on the mic and go. And I think that was the magic that we had, because we could just look at each other. There was no paperwork, there was no prep. You'll just look at me, you got this? Yeah, I got it. Sweet. And there you go. And it just got too easy. And I got bored with it.
When you say, like, you lost everything, because I've heard you say it a number of times now, like, do you like, is that honest truth, hand on heart? Do you reckon
Hand
you've
on
lost
heart.
everything?
You know what? When I got out of jail the second time and I went to Grace Foundation, I had nothing. It was because of the brothers in this house.
What is it like a halfway home? Like, what's the deal with Grace Foundation? For
Grace
people who don't know?
Foundation is like where people can get out on bail. If they don't have an approved address, they can go there.
Yeah.
Because you do programs there, whether it's for addiction or rehabilitation or domestic violence. They group you together, you do these courses, and it just helps you get back on track. I couldn't get an approved address. Well, one, I didn't have one. Two, the addresses I was giving, it was too far out where I couldn't get a signal for the bracelet.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just ended up in this halfway house. I went in there, and this guy I call my brother, like, he knew I come in with nothing. And he just goes, hey, you've been wearing those clothes for 3 days and you've been washing them every night. You know, and no money, no family to call on. You know, friends, like the friends I only had were like people like in the media, you know, and like once you go down that path, they can't connect with you because they don't want to be seen to hang out with the convicted criminal, which I am. And so I'm at the bottom, and my doxy too is the one who held me up, you know. And I said to him, man, like I'll never forget this, like nothing, like zero, like you know.
Do you reckon, did it hit home once you were out that you felt like you had nothing? Or was it when, like, was there any moment from the time you were convicted and sitting in jail where you were like, this is it now, like I've actually got nothing now? Or was it when you were released back into the public?
It's when you come out.
Yeah.
In jail, you're all right. You get fed, you got a bed, you know, you got people you can talk to who are the same situation as you. And I'm not saying this to be an egg, but when you get out, it's like, oh, yeah, see you later. You know, like live life now, see what you can do. Yeah. But then the starting line is different now because your name's out there. Yeah. You know, you're dealing with the public like, oh, that's the guy. Yeah. That's the guy.
Or no one wants to take a risk now. Like, you know.
Well, it's the same with you. You're like, do I really want to work with Nate again? Yeah. After what he put me through.
Just so you know, because I saw newspaper articles come out saying your media friends cut you off. I was there. I was the only one writing you damn emails and letters that the prison guards had to read out. Just to get that off my conscience.
I never said that.
No, but the Herald said that.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the second time. So you went in one time and we were all shocked. At that time, in that moment of time when you first went inside, I had just taken over the role as managing Mai FM. I think it was that point, and then you went inside, and then I tried to connect with you. It was real hard, and then you did your time, and then you came out, and then we tried to rebuild something, and we had the idea of doing the podcast. And then the second time you went in, I remember texting you that morning saying, "Hey, good luck. Do you want me to come to the case?" And then you said, "Nah, don't worry, I'll be out. It'll just probably be a bracelet, and I'll see you for lunch," right? And I was like, yeah, cool. And so I was like, oh yeah, I didn't bring lunch that day because I was like, I'll catch up with Nate for lunch. And then next minute, you're getting put in a paddy wagon, taken right back to jail for the second time.
I wasn't expecting that, but I was prepared for it. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I was prepared for it.
How do you prepare for something like that?
So obviously, it's a weird situation because usually when you plead guilty to something, maybe a month later you get sentenced. Yeah, I had pleaded guilty to that thing a year prior. It had been a whole year before they sentenced me. So for a whole year, I had to live under that cloud of, when's this happening? They wouldn't give me a definite date. So I couldn't plan anything. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't fix anything. They just made me sit there for a year before they sentenced me. Wow. But that whole time I thought, you know what? Let me see if I can change the way I do things here. I'm just going to humble myself and just go do some community work, hang out with Mausul Butterbean. Yeah. And just do this. And like, that's the hardest I've ever worked. We don't work anything less than 60 hours a week there. Yeah. It's packing food parcels, delivering food parcels.
And a job like that's never finished.
It's never finished. Someone will text at like 10 to midnight saying they need a food parcel. Yeah. You know, it's not a 9 to 5. If someone needs help, you help them. That's what you do. So I thought, you know what? Because that last case I was in, that first operation, I did time there. That case, they threw the charges out. They didn't have enough evidence. I'm not going to say any more than that.
No, fair enough. Yeah.
So I'd done some jail time. I'd done this community work. I kept my nose clean for 3 years. Surely, just chuck on a bracelet. Just, you know, I've got no priors, no physical violent history, no.
You're showing remorse or whatever. You're doing things for the community.
I didn't, bang. You know, I understand why they did it. Like they had to make an example of me. But still, I'm like, come on, man.
Well, yeah.
Like, you know, like I would be in Remand sitting there and some guy would come in and I'm like, what are you up to, Docs? He goes, man, I just shot someone in the knee. I'm like, and the next day he's out. I'm like,
And you're still sitting there.
You know, and this is a story for another day where we'll bring in some lawyers and we can talk about it because I'm not an expert.
But this is good. We're laying the foundation on how we got to this point. Man, it's crazy because obviously they made an example out of you for, the second time you served and all that sort of stuff. And, you're being on the straight and narrow anyway, working with Butterbean.
Mm.
I mean,
that was funny because everyone, and everyone's cynical. They see you working, helping out Butterbean. They're like, no, I know what he's doing. He's trying to get a discount.
Oh, what? You're trying to get a discount on your charges?
Yeah.
On your time.
I mean, it would help.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody wins. Families win.
Yeah.
Butterbean gets help, and then you get your time shortened.
But at the same time, I couldn't get a job. No one will touch me.
What's the truth with that chicken coop story that
That's a
Butterbean
true
tells
story.
everybody?
That's a true story.
For people that missed that story, do you want to tell everybody?
Yeah, so I get out of jail the first time. I'm like, you know what?
This sounds honestly like a joke.
I can't mope around. I got to get some work going. I got to, At that point, my daughter and my daughter's mother, they just had enough of the trauma that I put them through the previous years. They're doing their own thing. And I'm like, I want to contribute. I'm going to help you guys out.
I want to come back to that.
I want to go to work. So I applied for this job. I see this job on Seek, and it says, we hire anyone.
Highlight and bold italic on anyone.
Chicken catchers. Just like name, address, and we'll contact you. And, and Dave's the man.
Yeah.
I don't feel like talking to anyone. I just want to get to work. I want to make some money. I don't care now. I just need a grind. He reaches out and he goes, let's go for a drive. We go for a drive and he goes, man, I knew you were up to something, but I didn't know you were up to something. Every time I tried to talk to you, you'll just brush me off. Because Dave and I go way back. We go way back. And I knew Dave. Dave is as straight as they come. He made a decision that this is his life. His life is to help people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I knew that. That's why I couldn't hang around him because I knew I wasn't being straight.
Yeah.
And not that way.
Yeah. I get you. Everyone gets you. Yeah. I love that you still hung out with me though.
No, yeah.
It's like, nah, Dave's out of bounds, but I'll still hang out with Nix.
I got to work with you, man.
Yeah.
Dave picks him up. We go for a drive. He goes, what's going on? How you feeling? And I open up to those sore. And he goes, what are you up to? Like, what are you doing for money? Like, what are you doing for work? I said, no, I'm good. I'm all right. He goes, what are you doing? I say, I applied for this job catching chickens. And he goes, no. Well, what are you doing? I said, I applied for a job catching chickens. They accept anyone, so I'm just waiting for the call back. And he goes, no fucking friend of mine is catching chickens. You're going to come with me. You're going to do something. I don't know. You want to do social media at BBM or whatever you want to do, you come here. Also, you're coming with me. And I was like, oh, no, I'm all right. I got this. He goes, nah, you're coming. So he takes me to BBM. I'm there for about a week. And then I get an email saying, unfortunately, you're unsuccessful in applying.
For the chicken job?
For the chicken job. I was like, fuck you, mate.
You said anyone.
Yeah, anyone.
You said anyone. Man. Going back on, your daughter is like a niece to me and your daughter's mum, like, man, they were collateral damage, eh? Like, they got caught up in like, obviously wanting to support you, but then knowing that they couldn't do much and the trauma. Like, what's that relationship like? Because there's a lot of people, including myself and my wife, Sarah, who care about you a lot, but no one's going to care about you more than your partner and your baby mum and your daughter, right? Wait, partner and baby mum, that was the same person. That you didn't have a partner and a baby mum and I'm just saying, just so we clear that up. But what's that relationship like?
My daughter's mother is amazing, wonderful woman. We're co-parenting at the moment.
Yeah.
Daughters, they're awesome. But I didn't contribute to them at all. I was out the gate selfish. I was just doing my own thing.
Until 2019 or from 2019 on?
If I think about it, I've been pretty useless the whole time, even before everything. Because I was career driven. And the whole time it's been, hey, you want to rock with me? You want to get on this truck where I'm going? You got to fall into line, man, because I'm going to work my ass off. And all I used to do is like, as long as I provide, all good.
Yeah.
And that's back when I was like working. I was the music director. I was doing Drive. Then we moved to mornings. I was driven, man. I was like, whatever we need to do to get to number one, that's what I'm going to do. because I thought I was a fuck up as a dad and as a partner just recently.
Oh, but did they remind you that it was a long time?
Oh no, I had to do the work.
Yeah.
Because I had to go back and trace. I was like, oh fuck, I'm a useless cunt. But I thought I was the man because I was like, hey, bills are sorted. You got a roof over your head. You got a nice car. Daughter goes to a nice school. What else do you need? Fuck, they needed me, but I wasn't there because I was busy trying to be the man out in the streets. So I fucked them over. And they showed enough grace to still be there. Because I remember when I went to the court case, which is a buzzy thing to do to go through a high court trial.
Yeah.
That thing was like 8 weeks. And that's the most I've ever shown a man my asshole.
Oh, wait, they have to check that?
Every morning, man. Like, you walk out.
What, just in case there's razor blades in there or something? Or like...
Oh, fuck, I didn't put no razor blades
Oh, yeah, good point. Contraband. Contraband, yeah.
What the fuck am I taking out of prison? Oh, taking my TV remote? Oh, I don't want anyone taking my TV remote. I'll put it on my
No
ass.
one's watching Charlotte Street tonight.
No, but you know what I mean? It's like,
Man.
that was a marathon. But the first day of the High Court trial, that was buzzy. We had a helicopter escort, unmarked police cars front and back with cops with ARs guarding us. Like it was a spectacle. You pull up to the High Court. And, if you're driving, like, who is that? Who's in there? So it was a big show. You get marched into the High Court and you sit there in the dock and there's every media outlet there just sitting there taking photos and you're selecting your jury at this point. And the low point for me was looking in the corner and seeing my daughter and my daughter's mother just sitting there, still trying to support me after everything I put them through. But I told them to leave, like, just go. Just go. Yeah.
Did they leave pretty quick or were they trying to like fight it and deny it?
They wanted to stay, but I just told them to leave. Like, yeah.
Is that part of the bricks that we're rebuilding? That relationship?
I don't think I can ever fix that. Like the cracks will always be there. But all I can do is like be a good co-parent, be a good dad. That's the best I can do. Yeah.
Man, as we rebuild these bricks, brick by brick, man, I mean, just watching the whole thing unfold, you can't help but just feel sorry for your mate, you know? When you tell somebody so many times, it's like, come on, man. We get paid good here. We're good.
I had a chat to some of my usos last night about that thing of looking over the fence and go, ooh, the grass is green.
Sometimes it's not, though.
Hey, the grass is green over there.
Most times it's not.
Yeah. But that's who I've been my whole life.
I know.
I don't know how to settle.
Yeah.
I haven't figured that out yet. So I'm just letting you know now, just in case someone else with a better podcast. Now you want to come here? No.
We got to commit.
I know, I'm committing.
People have subscribed now.
Yeah.
And we don't want to offer refunds.
Yeah. But, brick by brick, this is what this show is about. It's not always going to be about this.
Nah.
But we just have to establish where we're coming from over the last 5 years, which has been a fuck of a ride.
Oh, and there's so many stories over the last 20 years that, Nate and I have experienced together from the people we've met along the way. Obviously, the biggest one is, your experience in the last couple of years. So I thought, like, in the first episode, we had to address that. We had to talk about your experiences and how you're feeling now.
Yeah.
How are you feeling now, mentally? Are you good? Are you in a good space? I don't think I've ever asked you that. I think we've just celebrated the fact that you're out now.
You and I have never been that type of...
We're never too deep, eh?
I think we're both too scared to ask that. Because I wouldn't know. Because to me, you're my rock. Without ever telling you.
As long as you're my water.
As long as you're straight... I'm like, fuck, we can do whatever, man.
Oh, there's been so, like, I never went down the roads you went down.
Yeah.
But there was moments where I'm like...
Hey, do you remember that time...
that I sat in your Mercedes? And the boss was like, what are you up to? I said, no, just testing out the heated seats.
Probably another low point is showing up to work in a McLaren.
Nah, you're right. We've never had that kind of relationship where we can get too deep.
Yeah.
I think that's our upbringing. I don't know if you could talk about your feelings when you were younger, but I couldn't.
Well, that's the reason why I had to go to therapy, because with the way you and I, we're from a generation where that shit just doesn't.
Yeah, you just deal with it and move
You're not
forward.
allowed to cry. You're not allowed to say things are hard. It's like, just go get the job done. And that's, I think, why you and I get along, because it's our motto has always been, by any means necessary.
Yeah, 100%.
By any means necessary. I just took it a bit too far.
Ride or die.
Almost.
Or die. So just a reminder again, obviously this episode is called Brick by Brick, and we've just explained where the bricks are at. So we've just tipped the Lego box out, and then all the bricks are all over the floor, and now we're starting from scratch, building something special with the podcast.
We just got to be careful the way we talk about bricks, because that's a conspiracy.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't even think about it until you said it. These bricks, again, these are the coloured ones, the plastic ones that, that come in a Lego box. We're rebuilding something special and starting from scratch.
I'm going to commit.
You're going to commit? For how long? For the rest of the journey.
Ride or die.
For the rest of the journey. But again, we want to share some stories, experiences. We hope you enjoyed this first podcast, and we can't wait for you to check out the second one, which is going to be titled
D-Day.
Yeah.
So that's basically the day of, just the timing of that day, because I got to tell you the story where I tried to lie to media about what happened after our raid.
D-Day. That's episode 2. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you tell your friends to subscribe.